What's up guys, welcome back to the channel, and today, just by looking at the video or by the thumbnail, you could probably guess what it's going to be. Today we are going to be ranking the top 10 units in the meta. Okay, so yeah, we're going to go from bottom all the way to the top, and once again, this is going to be based off of my experiences, my opinions, so, whatever you might see for a unit being in a certain spot might not match with what I see, but yeah, but since it's my video, it's my opinion, so if you don't like it, then go cry about it. Anyway, so before we get started, just letting you know, anywhere from 11 through 15 will be the honorable mentions, and they will go at the very end. So after we go from 10 through 1, we will be mentioning those units that are good. They might be meta, but they just didn't make it to the top 10. Okay, so yeah, let's start. Anyway, so for coming in at number 10, we have Blue LF Zenkai Kid Buu. So there are a lot of things to say about this guy. First of all, he is a heavily blast-oriented unit. He has very good Vanish Restore. He's a regen unit, Buu Saga, powerful opponent, and I think those are all of his tags. Anyway, so of course, his teams, he has one good team and one not so good team. His best team is Buu Saga, and there are actually a lot of really good Buu Saga units. For example, this Vegito over here, right? And then this Ultimate Gohan. And I think that's it, right? Yep. And that's it for Buu Saga. You could slap him on a team. Yep, and then just go into PvP. And I wouldn't say he's the best Zenkai unit because, as you know, we'll get to the best Zenkai unit later on. But he has very good Vanish Restore. Like, I have actually seen in my matches times where his Vanish Engage refills so fast that before the opponent's strike or blast animation can finish, he already has his Vanish back. And it is absolutely ridiculous. It's really annoying to fight against. So, but yeah, anyway, his unique equip requires him to be on a powerful opponent's team. And for a powerful opponent, he has a few good options. He has Broly over here. He has CMZ, who's also another regen unit, if I'm not wrong. Super 17, Super Janemba. But obviously you're not gonna see Super Janemba on any meta powerful opponent's team because he basically fell off right at Legends Fest. And then we have Super Baby 2. He's another very good viable option. And then we also have Ultra Golden Frieza, probably the best powerful opponent unit in my opinion, which yes would mean that he would go above Super Baby 2. So other than that, I don't really see him moving any higher up for right now because, whatever he brings to the table in terms of stats, in terms of damage, in terms of, just his overall kit, I wouldn't say it's good enough to put him anywhere higher up on the list. And to be honest, it's actually surprising that he's even top 10. He's a pretty good Zenkai unit. And once again, he's definitely not the best LF Zenkai we have seen so far. Okay, yeah, so now that we got that out of the way, we can put Ultra Super Saiyan 2 Gohan. Okay, so for this one, the reason why I'm putting him so far down is because he fell off quite a bit in literally just the release of one unit. One unit, okay, brought him down from rank number 2 or 3, arguably, all the way down to rank number 9, in my opinion, because, well, here's the thing. Ultra Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, the man, the myth, the legend, the god, the father, the king, him, the one, the goat, the god of legends, is, of course, just a better version of Ultra Gohan. He has pretty much all the same abilities, but, it's just like, well, yeah, they're straight up better than what Gohan has. Anyway, time to get into his pros and cons. So, he's not a very good tanker, I will say that, but But okay, his damage is not even that good. But the main thing about him is just his kit and what he brings to the table. So first off, probably his most annoying feature is the armor break. Yes, it's even more annoying than his counter gauge for one very simple reason. You use a blue card, you use a green card, you use strike arts. He's going to remove the blast armor on that, and you basically get hit. And the problem is that you cannot go through that. And what's even more annoying is that this card, the armor breaking blast arts, are universally held by your entire team. So he basically just inserts them into your other allies' hands, and yeah. So if you were to throw, say, Super Vegeta, because he's also Cell Saga, and then say G4. I mean, I'm not saying that's the best team. I do not recommend that, but you get the point. Both of them would be, all three of them actually, would be able to use the armor break card, and it's just a really annoying thing to fight against. Like, I'm telling you, bro, just play against Ultra Gohan like 4 or 5 matches, and you will see exactly what I'm talking about. And there's no way you can argue against that. And then, of course, his famous counter gauge. You go for any melee arts, he counters that, unless it's an ultimate arts. And once again, that gauge is, power crept by the man, the myth, the legend, the god, the father, the goat, the king, the one, the god, Ultra Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. And yeah. And then, of course, he has insane last man standing buffs. He gets a lot of really good things for that. I think he gets type neutral. I'm not 100% sure. And then, plus, once he enters the battlefield, he is getting 170% to damage inflicted right off the bat, right off the gates, just like Golden Frieza. Same number, actually. And yeah, and then he also has endurance, which is very useful for characters that do obscene amounts of damage, but it's also easily countered because there are a lot of ways to get around endurance. For example, most ultimate arts nullify endurance nowadays. If he's last man standing and he gets killed with a blue card, the endurance is also nullified there. Vegeto's rush nullifies endurance unless you guess his rush. And then, yeah. Yep, that's all I have for Ultra Gohan. Just fell off a lot because, Assault Chain is also there. A purple unit who has better stats can counter pretty much anything in the game. Not literally, but almost there. So, yeah, that's Ultra Gohan for you. And now we have, without a doubt, probably the most annoying unit in all of Legends Fest. Even more annoying than the Beast himself, Gohan. Anyway, so we have Ultra UI Sign Goku, who dropped for Legends Fest Part 3 as the Ultra reveal for the festival. So, there are a lot of things to go over for this guy, so let's get started. First of all, he has a strike evasion gauge, I'd say, because it's not really a counter gauge because it doesn't do anything, because the point of UI Sign is that he has the dodging aspect of Ultra Instinct, but not the counter attack. So they basically implemented that with Ultra UI Sign. And yeah, luckily he cannot counter you, but he can evade melee blue cards, melee green cards, and of course strike arts with his gauge, but of course does not work against ultimate arts, AoE green cards, or pretty much any arts, or any attack for that matter. And then, of course, his Dokabaki Auto Win, which is actually a severely underrated, aspect about this guy's kit, because I don't see a lot of people talking about this. Because here's the thing, right? Let's say, I think at least one time per match, you are going to get into a strike clash for sure. Okay, at least one time, 9 out of 10 matches, you are pretty much guaranteed to get into a strike clash one time, or Dokabaki Impact. A lot of people just call it a clash for some reason, but Dokabaki Impact is the actual name. And then the thing is that if he loses, right, he basically makes it a draw and nobody gets knocked back. So that's one thing that he can do. And then it's time for his ridiculously annoying lock-in ability. So basically, you get comboed by him, you switch, he, does the same animation that he did, or same move that he did against Topo and Dispo in the Tournament of Power when he first unlocked Ultra Instinct against Jiren. Basically, what he does, crosses his arms above his head, grabs the fist, basically just grabs the opponent, the one who he was comboing, and the person or the unit that's supposed to be subbing in for your comboed unit, and basically just throws them in opposite directions and gets his ultimate art right away just from doing that. It activates 3 times throughout the match. Super annoying. Something you really don't want to get, yourself into. But of course, the man, the myth, the legend, the god, the father, the king, the one, the goat, him, Ultra Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, can counter this because, obviously, as we all know, his ridiculously overpowered unique gauge nullifies all ultimate arts, except for wide range ultimate arts like what Majin Vegeta, the red one, has. But besides that, the thing is that he cannot counter that because once the gauge is full, right? If you have UG4 or Ultra G4, what a lot of people like to do, or at least what I've seen, because I've done it before, and also a lot of people have been doing it before, is they basically try to force proc the lock-in, they just try to pop it right away, and while they know that the unique gauge is full, so then if the opponent tries to go for an ultimate arts, they get countered by Gogeta. So yeah, then also, originally, he was supposed to be higher than Fusing LF Gogeta Blue, but the problem is that Fusing LF Gogeta Blue, okay, he is actually, at this point, a better unit now because he is way more effective in taking down the counter gauge units, Ultra G4 and Ultra Gohan, and even Ultra UI Sign himself, and they're basically all in the same teams. They're on God Key, they're on Saiyan, they're on Sun Family. Same teams, right? But the problem is that Fusing LF Gogeta Blue has, more effectiveness, or it's just better at handling all the units that you see nowadays. So that's why he will be ranked higher than Ultra UI Sun Goku. And he was without a doubt probably the scariest person or scariest unit you could possibly imagine when he released. Like, the very first match I ever played with Ultra UI Sign, believe me, I got absolutely clapped. The match was not even 30 timer counts. It was a really bad day because he just had so much. He was just so ridiculously overpowered at that time. And we all thought he was broken. But then what about when Ultra Gohan released? He's arguably even worse than UI Sign at the time of his release. But yeah, that will be number 8. And now for number 7, we have 7, 6. Okay, yeah. So I would put, actually no, not even Super Baby 2. I actually put Golden Frieza to be at the number 7 spot. The reason why is because, for a few reasons, he's actually much better than the bottom 3 on the bottom 3 on the list for a couple of reasons. First of all, he's a purple unit, so obviously he's not being countered by Gohan, which doesn't really matter too much. He's type neutral with the man, the myth, the legend, the god, the father, the king, the one, the goat, him, Ultra G4, and of course his comeback is probably his most, his biggest asset when it comes to PvP fighting. Because here's the thing, it does not get treated like Revival. So Ultra G4's, his Revival debuffs are not effective against the comeback ability. So if you were to get killed with the Ultimate Arts card, he revives once again with just as much HP as you normally would, and he also does just as much damage. And this is actually probably one of the only attacks that a unit does to G4 without progressing his gauge, since this does not affect Gogeta's unique gauge. So therefore, Golden Frieza actually does damage without having to worry about filling up the gauge, which is a really huge thing in his favor. And then obviously he gets immense, and I mean immense Vanish Restore from his green cards, and he also just spams green cards like crazy. It's really annoying to see. But personally, I do think that when it comes to him and number 6 on the list, Baby, Super Baby 2, I do think that Super Baby 2 is realistically a better counter to G4, and he probably performs better in the meta given how many purple units, or just how strong the purple units are in the meta right now, because we have 3 really, really, really good purple units. For example, we have, obviously, the GOAT, G4, we have Ultimate Gohan, and Ultra Golden Frieza. And probably one thing I forgot to mention about Golden Frieza was that he is also, a way to like stop G4 from using his ultimate arts, because he knows that Frieza is just sitting there in the back of the car, and if he ever gets hit, he will be the one to take the hits, and yeah, then he can just come back with his uniquely named comeback ability, because it does not get affected by the ultimate art, so no matter what, he comes back, and it's basically just a way of wasting G4's ultimate arts, because he still gets that second life regardless of what he gets hit by. And then now onto Baby, Super Baby 2, the second best counter to G4. He has a lot of broken abilities. His unique gauge is ridiculous. His strike counter gauge, again, that is not affected. So that does not affect G4's unique gauge. So therefore, he can still counter even if the gauge is full. But obviously, he cannot combo or chain that into another arts card, as he will be countered by G4. But obviously he has type advantage, which is also useful, just like UI Sign and fusing LF Gogeta Blue. Super Baby 2, his ultimate arts card also does a lot of damage. His blue card, we see him spamming that a lot. But here's the thing, he can still get one shot by G4, no matter what. Pretty much everyone, and I'm not even joking, anybody on this entire list, and even the people who are not currently on the list, get a straight one shot by the ultimate arts. Pretty much the only people who are not instantly dying to that would be Golden Frieza, obviously because of his comeback ability, and then obviously Gohan, the LF Ultimate Gohan, if you switch into him, because he removes buff effects. So what that means is that Gogeta, he will not cancel endurance, but the problem is that he does not nullify the reduce health restoration by 100%. So basically what happens is that when Ultimate Gohan's endurance is procced by G4, he comes back with 1 HP, so literally anything could straight one-shot him. Any unit, no matter how strong or weak, could kill him with the tap shot, which is actually saying a lot, to be honest here. So yeah, we have Super Baby 2, but obviously he can still potentially one-shot G4 with his ultimate arts. Even Zenkai buff, he could still be killed, okay, because the ultimate arts just does so much damage. And it basically, since it one-shots pretty much everybody, you cannot really use that as as an argument to say why one unit is better than the other, because it kills everyone no matter what. And if Golden Frieza, if he's already used up his first life, then he also gets one shot too. So yeah. But personally, I think because of the gauge, because of the type advantage, and just straight up because of just how good Baby is right now and how dominant he is, because he also has quite literally the second best team in the entire game. GT, which had a massive buff, because there are a lot of GT units you could put on him. As a matter of fact, there are actually 5 units that you could put on a GT team. First, we have the man, the myth, the legend, the father, the goat, the one, him, the god, the king of legends, G4. You could put Universal Spirit Bomb Kid Goku, the blue one. You could put LF and Super Android 17. And, of course, LF Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta and Super Baby 2. All of them go on the GT team. And that team is not bad by any means, because LFG4 is not bad. He is for sure top 17 to 20 in the game right now. Super 17, we'll get to him. He's good. So is Universal Spirit Bomb Kid Goku. And, of course, G4. He has better teams than Ultra Golden Frieza. And they also share the same powerful opponent team, because pretty much all Golden Frieza has right now is just sagas from the movie, LOE, and of course, powerful opponent. His best team, I think, would just straight up be powerful opponent. It's just gonna be CMZ, and it's just gonna be CMZ, Kid Buu, Ultra Super Janemba, I guess, and Super 17, and Broly. Other than that, you don't really see any other people on that team. And to be honest, the team is also falling apart a lot, because Super 17 is not top 10, Janemba is not top 10, Broly is not top 10. Him and Merge Zamasu, CMZ, are the only people that are actually viable to play. But obviously Broly and Super 17, you can still use them. I'm not saying they're bad by any means, but you won't really see them being ran a lot in the current meta. And then we also have the fact that Lineage of Evil is also not that good of a team, because besides Goku and Frieza, there's pretty much no other unit that you'll be seeing ran on teams besides him and Go Frieza. Because, please tell me, who's going to be running Sparking Golden Frieza from Legends Fest that released with Evo Ken? I'm waiting. Yep. Pretty much no one, actually, at this point. And then the sagas from the movies, and the only ones we really have are God Goku, who is also not being run too much, but he's not that bad. We have Gogeta Blue. We have LF Pikkon, Rev Super Gogeta. We have Ultra Super Janemba. We have UGB, and I have no clue who's running UGB now. We have Beast Gohan and Broly. So I think that might actually be his best team. I'm not even joking. That might actually be his best team, since he actually has some pretty good options. They are all, they're not top 10 by any means, but they are definitely usable. You can still use them. His kit is still pretty good. He does a lot of damage, and he still used to dominate PvP right when he released. But because of all those things, especially because of teams and just how well he counters the best unit, I will still put Super Baby 2 over Golden Frieza. So that's that. And now for number 5. It's going to be CMZ. Half Corrupted Merge Zamasu. Really good Zenkai. Best LF Zenkai of all time. Pretty much, it's basically it's a non-negotiable topic. It's undebatable. You cannot say anything against that. He is by far the best Zenkai. They were really on point with him. He definitely went from like top 40 to 50, straight up to top 5, which is probably the biggest jump we've seen for pretty much any unit in the entire game. He does a lot of damage, but at this point he's basically a glass cannon, because if you're not careful, you could get absolutely obliterated by how much damage he does, regardless of type advantage, type disadvantage, type neutrality. Doesn't matter. He will still do some hefty damage, but he's also not too good when it comes to tanking, but at least he does have the health restoration. Yeah, that works. And then he also has Endurance Nullification for 5 timer count by using his main ability. His Ultimate Arts is also another potential one-shot for pretty much any unit that's not a tanky blue unit. And the only one we really have is just Kid Goku, Broly, and Super Vegito. But yeah, and then his unique equip could have been a bit better. They did not really focus on the right thing for it. But yeah, so personally I put CMZ at number 5. Does a lot of damage. Not very tanky. Nullifies endurance. Very, 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 very good Zenkai. Non-negotiable. He's definitely top 5. And now we make a massive leap straight to LF Ultimate Gohan. He will be coming in at number 4. The reason why I'm putting him in here is because he's literally a blue and green card generator. Just straight up gets so many of these. His green cards give him good buffs. He can cover change melee blue and green cards. And then of course his Ultimate Arts does a lot of damage. He also removes buff effects that nullify endurance, which is a good thing because that means he can survive the man, the myth, the legend, the god, the father, the king, the one. Him, Ultra Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta's Ultimate Arts, but obviously he'll only come back with 1 HP because he does not nullify the health restoration reduction by 100% upon killing with the Ultimate Arts from G4. But other than that, he's a really, 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 really good unit. And then, of course, he also has super good teams. He has Buu Saga, he has Hybrid Saiyans, he has Sun Family. He actually has a lot of good things. And for Majin Buu Saga, it's him, Super Vegito, and of course, Kid Buu. Big Q. He could actually be put on leader slot for Fusion Warriors because I have been seeing that a lot. Because here's the thing, right? You do not at all want to put him on leader slot if he's like less than say 10 stars, because he will not be tanking anything. Even at 14 stars, he's not a very good tank. He can take a lot of damage. And yeah, so unless you have him at a minimum of 10 stars, I don't really see you putting him on leader slot or even on Fusion Warriors at all. If you do put him on Fusion Warriors, put him like either second or third slot, and then most likely just put G4, Vegito, and Fusing I Love Gogeta Blue, or GB and G4. Those are also other good combos. And then for Hybrid Saiyans, we all know exactly where this is going. Him, Ultra Gohan, and Beast Gohan. Or you could even put Sparking Pan, who is also probably still one of the best aging support units we have ever gotten, as she literally came out for Legends Fest 2022. And we're already wrapping up the anniversary for 2024. So yeah, that's also another good viable option for LF Ultimate Gohan's teams. And once again, he got instantly countered by the very next unit that dropped. So yeah, I feel like the point of the Ultra was just to counter pretty much every single thing. And now coming in at number 3, we have the GOAT, Fusing LF Gogeta Blue. Now, there are a few reasons why I'm putting him above LF Ultimate Gohan, simply for the fact that, number 1, his Assault Chain gained a lot of value, because there's another counter gauge unit. He could have had a buff to his Assault Chain, maybe chaining off of any melee arts. So he basically could chain out of a green or blue card. Say that he could basically locks the key so it stays the same, or just rapidly gets a lot of key restoration, maybe upped card draw speed that's uncancelable by 2 or 3 levels. That would instantly make him number 2 unit. since if he gets up to card draw speed by 2 to 3 levels and it's uncancelable, that means that Kid Buu can't do anything against that, which is good because then he could actually be a serious threat. And then also, say if he got like 70% of damage inflicted, or even just 50% of damage inflicted during the assault chain, he would definitely be, without a doubt, number 2 or even number 1 unit in the game. Because the only thing that's just preventing him from being better than Super Vegito, fusing Super Vegito, is his assault chain. Like, yeah, if it had better buffs, then we could see him aging better, and he could probably be at a higher spot. But other than that, I'd still leave him at number 3. Obviously, he has type advantage, so he's also going to be useful for counter the man, the myth, the legend, the goat, the father, the king, the one, him, Ultra Super Saiyan 4, Gogeta, and then, of course, like I just mentioned, the assault chain. Then, of course, he's also probably the tankiest of the top 5, as we've seen. His blue card does an obscene amount of damage. His assault chain is very useful for stuff, because I don't really want to get into all the details. And then, of course, aside from that, he also has Blast Darts nullification on his blue card, so that means that Ultra Gohan cannot counter that. So yeah, another unit that counters Ultra Gohan. Like, he really got sent to the Shadow Realms temporarily. We could always see him bumping back up. And then, aside from that, fusing LF Gogeta Blue. Oh yeah, also I forgot. Pre-fusion. His green card kills your entire... Because all of your green cards, well, at least your opponents, green cards, which is also a pretty good thing. Also fills up his tag switch by 60%. Once he tag switches, he gets 60% Vanish Restoration. He also gets 50 ki, well, plus 50 ki. And Vanish Restoration upon tag switch is super useful. He also gets that when he fuses. When he fuses, he gets the Vanish by 100% upon using his main ability. His blue card, Pre-Fusion, fills up his tag switch by 100%. So yeah, just use 4 tag switches. Let's think. And then his single gauge is filled up. If his health goes to below 50%, he reduces ki by 100%. Which there are a lot of ways to get around this, because I think card destruction is better than ki reduction, because just charge step and you already have your ki back, or per se you could tag switch, have your ki back, switch units, ki back. But card destruction is going to be a bit harder to get around, but I'm not saying it's impossible by any means, not at all whatsoever. Then of course, and then I think that's pretty much it for him. Oh yeah, also his blue card nullifies endurance if it's last man standing. I don't think it nullifies endurance overall. I'm not 100% sure about that though. I still need to reread his kit, even though he's my GOAT. So yeah, that's probably the best we're going to see him for a while, unless they release another purple counter gauge unit. Because yeah, unless they do that, number 3 is probably the best we're going to see him for a while. And now, coming in at number 2, we have Fusing LF Super Vegito. I'm still butthurt that he is better than Gogeta, because we all know I have a massive Gogeta bias when it comes to comparing these two. But obviously, I have to be fair. This tier list is based on my opinion, but of course, I don't want to put a heavy bias on it for any sort of reason. Fusing Super Vegito. His green card fills up his tag switch, switches in and out, fills up his synchro gauge, gets Dragon Balls. Once he gets his Dragon Balls, that's a bad thing, because Fuse, Rush, you're dead. And pretty much the only person that is surviving his Rush when fused is, a green unit, a tanky green unit that guesses the Rush and also has endurance. And who would that be? And it's not God Goku. It is not God Goku, because we do not see him doing much. It's obviously going to be Ultra Gohan, but obviously he's not that tanky either. He's not that tanky either, so, you know. He's actually a pretty free unit, because just like Gogeta Blue, there's only really one viable unit in the meta that could counter them. For Gogeta Blue, it would be CMZ, and for Vegito, Super Vegito, it would be Ultra Gohan. And then of course, Gogeta Blue does have another thing up on Vegito, is that, of course, Tag Switch restores Vanish, which Vegito doesn't, and also his green card kills Vegito's green cards, so that's also bad. And then of course, when fused, we all know exactly what that rush does. Basically a guaranteed rush. If it kills, he nullifies endurance. And then, of course, if he kills a revival unit, he gets plus 50% to damage inflicted to that revival unit. With any art, does not matter how he kills the revival unit, he just needs to proc the revival. And then, as we all know, if you guess his rush, it does not nullify endurance, and it also does less damage. So, that's how that's probably the only way, probably without a doubt, the only way you're going to survive his rush, unless you're just an absolute ridiculous tank. And then, to be honest, I would still probably invest in him when it comes to fighting in PvP, rather than fusing Gogeta Blue, since I just put all my comboing potential into Vegito, get his rush, get that out of the way, and then hopefully, if I somehow manage to get Gogeta to fuse, he will be going up against the man, the myth, the legend, the god, the father, the one, him, the god, the goat, Ultra G4. And yeah, working together, these two units are absurdly good. And once again, they had to make Gogeta and Vegito back to back for their arts, like we saw with the Ultra fusion units. See, back to back. And then we have back to back. Yeah. So that's pretty much it for. That's all I have to say for Vegito. Oh yeah, I forgot one more thing. When his unique gauge is full, he gets permanent type neutral, which is pretty good. Not that there are many units that are type countering him besides Gohan and God Goku. Other than that, I don't really see really big use for the type neutral. But hey, it's part of his kit. So we're going to have to include that. And now, for number 1, we have the man, the myth, the legend, the GOAT, the one, him, the god, the king of legends, the father, the goated one, the counter to all, countered by nothing. Well, not literally counter to all, countered by nothing. It's just him, bro, the GOAT. Ultra G4. Coming in at number 1 to the surprise of pretty much nobody, because I don't know who wouldn't expect him to be number 1. He just has so much going for him. He has the ridiculously overpowered counter gauge. He has the green card that inflicts the opponent with no switching. He has the blast darts nullifying blue card. His blue card seals, seals the opponent's blue card, which is a good thing. Cover changing. Unfortunately, it prioritizes the gauge, which I wish it wouldn't, because that's actually kind of a waste of the gauge, even especially if the opponent did not have cover null at the time. But I guess it works. It's still a good thing, because if they do have cover null, then the gauge is actually really helpful. Of course, it only has 3 uses. He gets plus 100% to unique gauge restoration if he is last man standing. He gets an additional plus 70% to damage inflicted. He gets plus 100% to damage inflicted, damage sustained, blast defense, strike defense, blast attack, strike attack, ultimate arts damage, and of course permanent type neutral upon being upon having 2 allies dead, cannot be cancelled. None of those things can be cancelled if he's last man standing, which is just straight up 1-up on Ultra Gohan. So, of course, another thing that Ultra Gohan does not have. And then, of course, we also have the fact that the man, the myth, the legend, the GOAT, the father, the one, him, the GOAT, the counter to all, countered by nothing. Gogeta 4, of course. He force draws a blue card upon proccing his cover change, which is also another use. He gets a massive 40% to health restoration. He just goes straight to 90% pretty much. He gets rapid health restoration for himself if he goes below 50% HP. If his gauge is full, it seals rush for 10 to 15 timer counts. I forgot which one, which is also really useful. Even if he's in the middle of a green card animation, floating forward and backwards, or basically hovering forward and backwards, sidestepping, switching, changing cover, doing an attack, anything, or even if you just vanished and he's in the middle of an attack, he can still counter it, even in the middle of a green card animation. Like, I was watching 2 people fighting PvP, and G4 was in the middle of a green card animation. He was attacked, and his gauge still activated. Yeah. And then he also has a counter to Ultra UI Sign's lock-in, because if the gauge is full, you can just force, proc the lock-in. You can just switch into Gogeta, and you cannot switch into Gogeta because it literally locks you in, but you get the point. Because if they try to combo you before going into the Ultimate Arts, you can switch into Gogeta, that gets nullified. Luckily, it's not comboable, so you cannot follow that up with anything. But obviously you could follow it up with other attacks, assuming that your opponent does not have enough time to react, or assuming that they just straight up cannot react. And then he also sits on plus 200% to damage inflicted right off the bat. He gets 10 timer counts of special cover change and nullification, or nullify special evade actions while changing cover is the actual name for it. And then he also has permanent type neutral if his health goes below 50%. Defensively, obviously, he goes type neutral defensively until he gains more HP. His main ability is cracked just because of his ultimate arts, basically a guaranteed one-shot. It just does ridiculous amounts of damage upon huge success. It also destroys 3 Dragon Balls if you get a huge success, which basically means just to tap as many times as possible before the timer is up. And then, it just does a lot of damage. It destroys 3 Dragon Balls, like I mentioned. But obviously, it does not work on Super Vegito because his Dragon Balls cannot be destroyed. And then, his counter gauge, super useful. And, of course, again, his blue card nullifies Blast Darts, just like GB. So, another thing that Ultra Gohan cannot counter. So, Ultra Gohan has actually had a massive disadvantage for all the stuff here. He is countered by Super Baby 2, by Gogeta Blue, and they're pretty much his main counters. He would actually make LF Ultimate Gohan come back with 1 HP if he gets hit with the Ultimate Arts and actually dies. But obviously he could still get one shot because he's not necessarily the best tank unless you have a lot of HP and defense and Zenkai buffs. But other than that, I don't think there's much else to say for the man, the myth, the legend, the father, the GOAT, the one, the king, and countered by all, countered by none, the Maharaga of the entire game. Ultra Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. Without a doubt, the best unit. And of course, one more thing before we get to the honorable mentions, just letting you know this entire tier list was made by me. I made the images, I made everything. So, in case you just wanted to know where all this came from, it would be me. Anyway, so now, coming in at number 11, it's not too hard to guess who it would be, and it would be Universal Spirit Bomb Kid Goku. Has endurance, gives it like 50% back whenever he restores health, Then his Solar Flare also counters the man, the myth, the legend, the father, the goat, the one, him. Countered by all, countered by non Maharaga of DB Legends, the father, the king, the one, him. Ultra Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. It counters that too because his gauge is not affected by that because it's not an arts or like an attack. If you use his main ability upon proccing the endurance, he basically is basically a revival at this point because he just comes back with so much HP. His blue card is really annoying, really hard to see coming. His main ability, obviously Force Jaws and Ultimate Arts. Upon using the Ultimate Arts, it seals your rush, seals your main, locks you in, and removes your vanish. So the only way to counter that is, of course, with Ultra Gohan's blue card or having another Ultimate Arts of your own, assuming that you have one. And that's pretty much all for GT Spirit Bomb Kid Goku, besides the fact that he's an absolute tank. And then, of course, we have... Actually, no, I would not put Super 17. I just put Tag Goku Bardock. Sorry, not Tag Goku Bardock. Oh, my God. LF Beast Gohan, Transforming Beast Gohan. One of the best aging LFs from 2023. Legends Fest. It's been about 7 months, and he is still, viable in today's meta. He's not quite the best as of right now. His blue card does a lot of damage. His second main ability fills up super fast. Like, literally, if you switch out of him and then switch back into him, he basically has a main ability already. His transformation into Beast instantly removes your entire Vanishing Gauge, which is also very useful for you and or if the opponent is using it on you. His blue card does a lot of damage and nullifies Endurance. He also gets a lot of Vanish Restore. His blue card restores his Vanish by 70, 80%. It does a lot. And I also forgot to mention one thing about Ultra UI side. He also reduces Ultimate Arts power by 50%. But regardless, Gogeta's getting it plus 100% to Ultimate Arts damage. So it doesn't really matter. It's still gonna one-shot pretty much anyone. And then back to Beast Gohan. He's basically, without a doubt, the number one counter to Ultra UI Sign. Because no matter the star difference, when I had my Beast Gohan at 4 stars, at 3 stars when I used to have him then, he one-shot, a 6 times Zenkai buff. Ultra UI Sign at 14 stars, God equips, fully Arts boosted. I think it was fully Arts boosted. I cannot necessarily say that for sure, just confirm that. And then, of course, yeah, 6 times Senkai buff is crazy. The type advantage really came in clutch. It just does so much damage. And then back to Super Baby 2. One more thing I forgot to mention about him is that he's also anti-Saiyan, which is a huge thing in the meta, considering that almost, I don't know, 80% of the units here are Saiyan. For example, Beast Gohan. Sorry, not Beast Gohan. GT Kid Goku, Ultra UI Sign, Fusing Gogeta Blue, Fusing Vegito Blue, and the man, the myth, the legend, the god, the father, Maharaga, countered by all, countered by none, the goat, the one, him, the king, the legend, Ultra G4. They're all Saiyan. So yeah, that's pretty much where I'm gonna put him at for number 12. Coming in at number 13, of course. Ruby Super 17. Draws a lot of blast darts, not a very good tank. Green card. This thing can absorb pretty much any ranged arts. Well, obviously, except for, Super Vegeta's Ultimate Arts, obviously. And there are a lot of blue units in the current meta. There's a lot of good ones. So Super 17 is not necessarily in the best spot right now. Yeah, he just has a lot of good... He has an incredibly good combo potential. I'm not sure if he's also anti-Saiyan, but his kit is ridiculous. He basically had an Ultra kit at the time of his release. And for some reason, bro looks like an elf from the side profile. His ear is so long for some reason, and so is his nose. Obviously, I don't want to talk about that anymore. And then we have God Goku coming in at number 14. Force draws a green card upon using the main ability, has endurance, is a green unit, so it actually counters the blue units in the current meta. Ultimate Earth does a lot. Blue card is very damaging. His green card restores Vanishing Gauge by like what 40%, 35 to 40%. And then card draw speed is not that bad. But other than that, he doesn't really have much going for him, and that's why I probably would not have put him in top 10 because he was quite underwhelming at the time of his release, and even more as of right now. But of course, if you know how to properly use him, he could definitely still carry in PvP. But, he's obviously not the one doing all the damage here or the one who's basically soloing. So I highly suggest you don't try to 1v3 him unless you have no other option and your other two units are dead. Only then can you do that. Other than that, he's not going to 1v3 any matches for you. Trust me. I promise you that. Unless you're like an absolutely ridiculous God rank player. So yeah, that's number 14. And then of course for number 15, we have LF Broly. Good Zenkai, probably the worst of the three. LF Zenkais we got this year. The 4 LF Zenkais we got this year. Could have been better. Once again, another blue unit. Another blue unit, he could have been better. Like I just said. He has a really, really, really good strike damage. His ultimate arts nullifies endurance pretty much no matter what. So, and I don't know if it goes type neutral, but I have seen him absolutely wailing on Ultra Gohan before. Like, he's actually probably my number one guy when it comes to killing Ultra Gohan because, as you know, I keep a record of all my stats when it comes to killing stuff. And currently we have seen about, I think, 127 Ultra Gohan one-shots with Ultimate Arts. So, yeah. And then his LF, I've only gotten it 48 times so far, but obviously that's not important. And then that, the fact that he does not have endurance is also not that good, but he does have access to one of the best equipments in the entire game. Straight up, besides the Mega Shenron, the Broly equip, which is, for powerful opponent and Super Saiyan, his equip is actually super, super, super good, especially when Z plus and or Godly rank. He is super good. Definitely not at the level I was hoping for him to be, but, when the OG LF Gogeta Blue gets a Zenkai, if he's not top 10 or at least top 12, I'm going to be hella mad. But, yeah. And then, of course, if you guys want to know what I think for the rest of the units, it would probably go G4, Tag Goku Bardock, Pikkon, Ultra Super Janemba. Actually, a UVB in between Pikkon and Bardock. And then probably like full power Jiren, Super Saiyan Vegeta, Super Saiyan Goku, and then UGB at the very bottom because he's actually the oldest out of all of them. Like, well, sorry, not the oldest, but like, okay, here's how I should word it. The oldest in terms of when he was meta. Yeah, when he was meta. Because Jiren, obviously, he released a long time before any unit on this entire list except for CMZ, Super Saiyan 4, Gogeta, and Broly. He's the fifth oldest unit on this list, but he just got a Zenkai, so that's why I would put him over Super Saiyan 4, Gogeta Blue, UGB. So that is what my tier list would look like. So starting from the bottom up, we have UGB, LF Super Saiyan Goku, LF Super Saiyan Vegeta, LF Full Power Jiren, Ultra Super Janemba, LF Revival Pikkon, aka Revival Super Gogeta, UVB, Ultra Vegeta Blue, LF Tag Goku Bardock, Zenkai, Green Zenkai, LF Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, Blue Zenkai, LF Super Saiyan Full Power Broly, LF Green God Goku, Red LF Super 17, Red LF Transforming Beast Gohan, Blue LF Universal Spirit Bomb GT Kid Goku, Blue Zenkai LF Kid Buu, or Buu Kid. Did I put Blue Kid? Yeah, I did. Okay, good. And then Green Ultra Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, Yellow Ultra UI Saiyan Goku, Purple Ultra Golden Frieza at number 7. Number 6 would be Yellow LF Super Baby 2, aka Super Gauge 2, like what I've heard some YouTubers saying. Number 5, Red Half Zenkai Half Corrupted Merged Zamasu LF. 4, Purple LF Ultimate Gohan from the Buu Saga. Number 3, Yellow LF Fusing Super Gogeta. Number 2, Blue LF Super Vegito Fusing. And then, of course, number 1, the man, the myth, the legend, the goat, the father, the king, the one, him, the god, counter by all, counter to all, counter by nothing. The man, the myth, the legend, Ultra Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. And that's the tier list. And once again, make sure you like, subscribe, leave a comment especially, okay, on what you guys want me to do next time, how you guys think I'm doing, because I would love to read them. Because don't forget, I will heart or like all comments that I get, or at least I'll try to get every single comment I get. So yeah, make sure you do that. Share the video, and I will see you in the next one. But before we get to that, just letting you know, the summoning video will be posted in 3 days from now, so be on the lookout for that. Anyway, Mr. The Goat Gita signing out.